Hello, welcome to Therapeutic Stories, brought to you by South West London and St George's Battersea Mental Health Support Team. My name is Emily Rothan and I'm a dramatherapist. And today we're going to be hearing the story of Ruby's Worry by Tom Percival. Now before we listen to the story, we're going to do a warm-up together. So I'd like you to imagine that you have a big bouncy beach ball in front of you. And when you're ready, we're going to throw the beach ball up in the air and watch it as it goes up high. And when it comes down, it's not a beach ball anymore. It's turned into some very stretchy blue tack. And we're going to stretch the blue tack out wide and bring it back together and then stretch it out the other way. And then stretch it up tall, reach up your hand as high as it will go. And then bring it back together and we're going to squish the blue tack back into our hands, okay? And as we do that, it's turning into a very, very tiny, very bouncy ball, and we're going to bounce it on the table, okay, or on the floor, wherever you're sitting. And we're going to bounce it with that hand, and then we're going to swap. We're going to bounce it with the other hand, okay? And then we're going to catch it in our hand. Now, this time, when we throw it up in the air, it's turned into a feather. So I'd like you to imagine what colour your feather is. And when you're ready, throw the ball up high and we're going to watch it as it turns into a feather. And then with our hands, we're going to just follow the feather as it floats back down and comes to rest. Okay. So now we're going to hear the story. So find a place to sit where you feel comfortable to listen. Ruby's Worry by Tom Percival. Ruby loved being Ruby. She loved to swing up high. And she loved to explore wild, faraway places. Sometimes she even went all the way to the very bottom of the garden. Ruby was perfectly happy until one day she discovered a worry. It wasn't a very big worry. In fact, it was so small that at first Ruby hardly noticed it. But then the worries started to grow. Each day it got a little bit bigger. It just wouldn't leave her alone. It was there at breakfast, staring at her over the cereal box. And it was still there at night when she cleaned her teeth. The funny thing was that no one else could see Ruby's worry, not even her teacher. So Ruby pretended that she couldn't see it either. She tried to carry on as if everything was normal, but it just wasn't. The worry was always there, stopping her from doing the things that she loved. Ruby wondered if the worry would ever go away. What if it didn't? What if it stayed with her forever? Ruby didn't realise, but she was doing the worst thing you can ever do with a worry. She was worrying about it. Now the worry was enormous. It could barely fit in the kitchen at tea time. It filled up half of the school bus. And it took up whole rows at the cinema. The worry became the only thing that Ruby could think about, and it seemed like she would never feel happy again. Then, one day, something unexpected happened. Ruby noticed a boy sitting alone at the park. He looked how she felt. Sad. And then she noticed something else.
something hovering next to him. Could it be a worry? It was. Ruby realised that she wasn't the only person with a worry after all. Other people had them too. She asked the boy what was on his mind, and as he told her, the strangest thing happened. His worry began to shrink. Then Ruby did the best thing you can ever do if you have a worry. She talked about it. As the words tumbled out, Ruby's worry began to shrink until it was barely there at all. Soon, both of their worries were gone. Finally, Ruby felt like herself again. Of course, that wasn't the last time that she ever had a worry. Everyone gets them from time to time. But now that she knew how to get rid of them, they never hung around for long. Now, the author of this book, the man who wrote it, has written a special message at the beginning for people who are reading the book. It says, "Dear reader, this is a book about a girl who can't get rid of a worry. Everyone worries about things from time to time, and it can be hard to stop. Even though we can't see our worries like Ruby can, they're here with us. Ignoring them can sometimes make them worse. So, here are a few questions to ask yourself when you think you have a worry stuck to you. So the first question is, what am I feeling? Sad, angry, anxious? All three? And the next question you can ask yourself is, what could be causing me to feel this way? Has anything happened? And lastly, who can I talk to about it? Who are the people in your life who you feel can support you to talk about your feelings? No matter what you're feeling, remember, it always helps to talk about it. Be open, be honest, be you. Love, Tom."
When Ruby shared her worry in the story, she felt better. We're going to make something together that might help when you have a worry that you're holding on to. All you need is an empty box. So if you've got a tissue box at home, that's brilliant, or any other kind of small box. So have a look in your recycling to find something. Just need to make sure that there is a hole in the box. So this is the one that I've made. You can decorate it with wrapping paper or tissue paper or newspapers or magazines, and you might have some stickers at home or some glitter or googly eyes. So decorate it however you would like. You might even want to write or draw on it. And this box is going to be your worry box. So when you have a worry, and it doesn't matter how big or how small the worry is, find a piece of paper and write it down. And once you've written down your worry, fold up the piece of paper as small as you want. You can rip up your piece of paper, and that's absolutely fine as well. And then we're going to post it inside our worry box. If you don't feel like writing, you can choose an object to represent your worry. So I've got a pebble here that's going to represent my worry that I'm putting in the box. Now, having a worry box gives your worries somewhere to be that's other than your mind or your body. And so you can stop holding on to them all the time, like Ruby was. You might want to talk with your worry with a trusted grown-up and think together about how you can solve some of your worries before you put your worry in the box. Once your worry's in, find something fun and enjoyable to do. I hope you enjoyed the story of Ruby's worry. Thank you very much for listening.